Joining us now to discuss DNA evidence in more detail, a forensics expert from John Jay College of Criminal Justice, Larry Kobilinsky, and attorney Adam Thompson is both here, and they both join us from Newsmax, New York. Gentlemen, we welcome you to America's Forum. So, in addition to trying to find the missing UVA student, Hannah Graham, authorities are hoping to solve other crimes. Does that typically work out, Larry?
Well, I think it does. When you think about the power of DNA, it's a substance that lasts a long time. Cold cases are solved that way. We already have a linkage between Jesse Matthews and Miss Harrington, whose body was left in a field for 3 months, yet there's still DNA on that body that enabled law enforcement to establish a match. Now, Harrington is also linked to a rape that occurred 4 years earlier. And it looks to me like there is an evolution of violence going on here, where it starts out with sexual assault and it ends up in sexual assault and murder. This very well may be a serial killer. And I think it was the investigation of Hannah Graham that broke everything apart, because once they got a search warrant to go into Jesse's home, they were able to collect items such as toothbrushes for DNA, again, hairbrushes for mitochondrial DNA, clothing, trace evidence. There very well may be hair found on the body of Miss Harrington, Morgan Harrington, that could be matched to hair taken from a hairbrush found in Jesse's home. So the connection is through DNA. There may be lots of other victims here that we have no idea about at this point.
Adam, let me bring you into this conversation. Even with this additional forensic evidence that we know of, police have not charged Matthew with the other crime. What do you think they're waiting for, sir?
Well, basically, they want to complete their investigation. They're in no rush to have to come up with a conclusive answer. So they're going to do their due diligence. They're going to first try to question him if an attorney is going to allow him to speak, which I do not anticipate. But they're going to go to where they think a potential crime scene is. They're going to examine the crime scene. And as we just heard, they're going to look for any and all forensic ties, because that's the link that really is going to make any kind of charges stick. So they're going to be looking to see if there's any skin samples underneath fingernails from maybe some confrontation that took place, clothing samples that may match from fabric left behind, any kind of hair particle left behind. If they get any of those links and matches, that's as strong as evidence as you can get in this kind of case to reopen old cases. We're talking about cases that go back to as early as 2005. And when you start piecing all these puzzles together, you see there's one forensic link to the more recent case. Then there's one going back to the Harrington case, and now to the Fairfax City case, there's links. Now you have also a profile picture of a sketch, and they seem to match, or at least be very consistent. When you piece all that together, it starts building a very strong case. So they want to make sure as they stack these blocks, they keep stacking properly, don't topple over, and they present a very strong, fluid and consistent case.
A little more than a minute remains in this segment. Adam, as you lay it out there, you're talking about a history on Jesse Matthews. It goes back about a dozen years, back when he played football at Liberty University. Why did it take so long to connect the dots on the part of authorities?
It just takes one break in the action to come up with this stuff. When the first case happened in Fairfax, he probably was an unknown person in that area. All they had was a description. No one in the immediate area fit that description. So 1 and 1 didn't equal 2. Then you have the Harrington case again. You have a body deceased. They can't locate any matching fibers or forensics at that point. Everything blew open in the most recent case, and once one dot connected to another, things start unfolding and crumbling very quickly. And I'm sure that's the reason why the defendant fled, because, you know, as I said around a week ago, his actions demonstrate consciousness of guilt.
Fair enough.
And when someone flees,
right,
that's it.
We will have to step aside right now, back to talk more about the break in this case after this break on America's Forum.